Traveler, Paimon, how have you been?
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest this whole time. That night, we ended up chatting and chatting until suddenly the sun was up. And then he decided he wanted to go to Inazuma.
The Balladeer? It sounds like some kind of code name. You look troubled. Is there something you need to tell me? Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the Balladeer erased himself from Irminsul, hoping that he could...
But how was he even able...
As the Traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. I don't recall finding anyone inside the machine after we did. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to successfully erase them...
So, you believe this person really existed, and we just don't remember him because... well, because he...
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. The Traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about him in Irminsul, and it also explains why any changes to Irminsul wouldn't affect him. So if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you. It's quite incredible.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this Balladeer guy's motivation.
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for... Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the Balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And if he thought there was a chance he could save his own, this story makes sense. Every part... The Balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the Doctor's help. That power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Irminsul.
Yeah, it does make sense, but it just feels so hopeless. He gave...
Please wait a moment. I want... Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming everything he...
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale? Who wrote it?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You wrote a fairy tale?
When combined with the traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory. Everything in it is a symbol for...
Hold on. So this record survived from...
Yes. Any information about the balladeer or the Kabukimono in other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to but Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written...
That's incredible!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information recorded in Irminsul. But if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story... There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. The monster found a family of foxes, joined them, and they became friends. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity, yet they are too foolish to see it. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the wood of a white tree who had been abandoned by the humans. The kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other foxes saw this, they spoke words of comfort to the kitten. Even without a tail and fur like ours, you are still one of us. Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as the fire spread. The only way to extinguish the flames was to make a sacrifice. A gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us. Surely you can help us find a way to solve this." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a beautiful drop of water, clear, The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench..." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain and found a little bird who had a broken wing. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wandering aimlessly. How it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world... I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then, no one will know that there were once birds, foxes, and cats in this world.
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the balladeer's story. It is his very own memories. To become a god, he was experimented on and modified countless times. It was brutal torture. This memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Presumably, they kept it to have something to defend themselves with. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for later use. I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to Give Red. Paimon has no memory of him at all. He completely vanished.
The Balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conria was where your twin first came into this world. We still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but in all likelihood, they won't even remember their own Harbinger.
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still...
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, so the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth, and then when you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire to never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled with suffering, the light of wisdom, and that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahida's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat?
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take him out for a walk to clear his head?
You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after taking... Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits!